the new SRAM mountain bike transmission is out. I was lucky enough to be invited to the press release sort of yesterday morning. I've watched the various YouTube sort of sites about it. Yeah, the Pink Bike, the Shrill sites, as Peak Talk calls them. I've also watched Peak Talk's video as well, and I've had sort of 24 hours worth of reflection, I guess, and I wasn't going to add my opinion to this. It wasn't a release that I was immediately that excited about because it replies to such a small amount of people, but it does give us a glimpse at a future. So I think it's probably worth talking about. Hey, let's just get stuck in. I want to address, first of all, if you watched the Peak Talk channel, I'm pretty sure you have, because you've got an awful lot of views on that video, so well done, Peak. You've made some good points there, but I do think you've missed a few things. Let me show you what I mean. Now, Peak Talk's big thing was about the datum points and about setting a datum point and relying on the frame manufacturers to set it. His alternative was this heap of shit tool, which, any of you own this, you'll know how bad it is. It's like the sloppiest ass tool in the world. And to try and pretend that you can hang an accurate measurement off this thing is a freaking joke. Like, if you haven't used one of those before, it's like, it's got so much tool slop in it, you ain't measuring anything off that. We actually use this. I'm not saying this is significantly better. This is Abbey Bike Tools, the HAG, the hanger derailment tool, is significantly better made, but there is still so many things in here that will give you lots of inaccuracies, way more than a cycling manufacturer's tolerances. So, you know, just how the mech hanger's mounted to the frame, the wheels, the bearing, there's just too many things. And if you can get something straight to within a millimetre, I think you're doing pretty well, even with some of the most accurate tools. And you're still relying on, you know, a mechanic's bravery and how much they want to bend it before something snaps or breaks, and, you know, bending it backwards, forwards. And when do you stop? When have you know, plasticity of materials has gone too far and you're going to end up breaking it? Because you can sit there, move a little bit, move a little bit, move a little bit, and every time you move it, you're compromising the strength of the part. So, yeah, I mean, this is what we normally bend, these little things here. So these are quite good quality ones. Actually, we don't really mess around with the cheap ass ones. We just get CNC machine ones. If someone breaks their mech hanger, this gets fitted. It's a bit more expensive. It's strong, it's straight, the gears work. If this isn't straight after we checked it with a derailleur hanger tool, then we look at problems with the frame, etc. But and this, if you're starting to bend these, you've got other problems. The SRAM UDH, well, I don't have one here sadly, but it's a big chunk of metal, and you're not really bending that backwards and forwards to get things into alignment. You're going to check the alignment with your hanger derailleur tool, and if it's out of alignment, you're going to change the hanger. Like, you're not bending it backwards and forwards to set a datum point. If that is out of alignment, a brand new hanger on a brand new frame, then you start looking at the frame, you know, more than you start looking at bending things, because they just don't bend, even with a heat gun and stuff like that. So practical experience of working with sort of bulkier, bigger, higher quality mech hangers, like it's not something we really do. So the second thing he had was the serrated edges. I think he's probably misunderstood a little bit, because let me go back into here and have a look at this. Now, where are we? Here we go. So this is the little serrated edge we're talking about here. By the way, fantastic graphics from SRAM. They really are doing a fantastic job. And up here you can see how all this works. So this is the SRAM UDH being removed. Awesome little shout actually by SRAM. Very, very brave. I'll come on to that in a second. So you need one of these. If your frame doesn't carry one of these mech hangers, you're not fitting this group set. Then you install this bushing. This is awesome. These little bushings exist on all mechs, and they're normally an absolute pain in the ass to fit because they're buried deep inside the mech, circlip springs and all sorts. This is user replaceable, cheap as chips, happy days. Anyone can do this. Look how simple that is. Any home mechanic can do that. Then you bolt this on, fine thread. This serrated edge that he's going on about, once that's fitted, it doesn't really move. That's going to stay locked against the frame really. And then the mech has some open, close and ride positions. And so that serrated edge isn't just going to be sitting there rubbing on the frame. And kind of a fun point really, but this is a quick release skewer. It has serrated edges. We've been using these for absolute years. I'm sure many of you have been using this for decades on carbon frames and probably have got slightly chewed up dropouts. Anyone got any complaints about this? Anyway, back to this. I have to say, like, congratulations to SRAM, because you've done a fantastic job at making this very, very, very easy for the home mechanic to do. Like, setup guides, it's all on an app, it tells you where to cut your chain, it tells you what mode. There's no more B-limit screw, you've just got this little flip chip thing for hardtails or full suspension bikes. It's incredibly easy. It really, really is. And they've done a really, really good job. New 55mm chain line. I think we'll get around that with new bottom brackets, etc. So that's by the by. My biggest thing actually is to really applaud SRAM, because it was a bloody brave move, because the problem with the adaptation of, you know, bike manufacturers putting a SRAM UDH on their frames is there wasn't much of an incentive to do so, because, you know, they just needed to design it. Now frame manufacturers have got an incentive to put a SRAM UDH on their frames and make sure it's compatible, because I think people are going to be asking for this, and this sort of stuff you're not going to really buy it as an upgrade. The upgrade market is pretty small. Where this is going to really happen is get spec'd on brand new bikes, and I'm pretty sure SRAM will be offering some damn tasty discounts to brands like Pivot and Santa Cruz, etc., to be speccing this, which will then force their hand into putting the SRAM UDH onto their new frames, and all of a sudden we've got some adaptation, and that's where it gets exciting, because once we've got that, we've got the opportunity of having things lower down the tier, because things will be compatible with it. So I don't think it's going to be very long before we see GX, etc., in this model, and all those little things that we're sort of nitpicking at will be solved by the time it gets down to GX, and there'll be a much more mass market adaptation. So yeah, I think it's a good thing, if I'm honest. It doesn't stop you from putting Shimano or LT Woo or whatever it is you want to fit. You can still fit that with a SRAM UDH, but it also gives you the option of fitting this as well. So I don't really see what there is to dislike about it. It's it's trying to solve problems, and I think I'm on record of being very critical of things that they're just gimmicks. I don't think this is a gimmick. This does actually legitimately try and solve problems that my customers complain about, and I've got to applaud that. It might not be right on its first attempt, but it's definitely looking like it's trying to solve problems rather than create new ones. Anyway, there we go. That's my thoughts for what it's worth. While I've got your attention, I just want to say thank you to Roger, who from Sweden sent us this ceramic grease. So after we've been talking about grease for ages, he sent me this, because this is what he uses, and it makes sense. It's sort of ceramic particles. It seems pretty good, to be honest. I'm not going to use this on any customers' bikes until I've had some time with it. I still like our calcium sulfonate construction grease, but I'm going to give this a go. It looks like it's been made for brake components on automobiles, but yeah, I'll let you know how I get on. Thanks for that. I'm always intrigued to try new things. And other exciting news, we're a Hambini dealer. Now, we've fitted Hambini bottom brackets before. We've definitely asked Hambini to fit some problematic frames for us in the past, and I'm really, really happy that we can now have these in the shop. And I have to say, when you handle a Hambini bottom bracket, it changes your perception quite rapidly from something that looks a little bit overpriced and a little bit niche to something that is beautifully made. It feels super smooth, and it's been so cool to have it in the shop and just sort of give it to our customers and say, hey, have a feel this, and like, wow, oh, I get it. So I think Hambini is going to do rather well with his approach to trying to get these into shops, because it looks boring, doesn't it? I mean, look at it. It's like black and it's expensive, and you've got to wonder, like, what the hell? There is definitely something about the tactileness of it. Makes you think and pay attention to it. It's a very tactile product. So yeah, we've got some videos coming up where we've been fitting a few of these recently. Yeah, follow that, because we're going to sort of show you I know Hambini does it on his show, but we're going to sort of try and show you how you might do that in a sort of a workshop environment to help solve sort of the common problems that we get inside workshops. So stay tuned. I hope that's useful. Right, that's it. Rant over. Next video coming up is actually fitting a Hambini bottom bracket to that video that you saw on our YouTube shorts, which was that was fun. Right, take it easy, everyone. See you soon.